groceries? And when's the last time you checked?
Hey, good morning. Welcome. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on at YouTube. I had everything set up and I hit go live and it just sat there and spinning. Happens sometimes on YouTube. So it's going to be a few minutes before we get back to things here. I did want to get us up and running at least this morning and let you know this is not my fault. I feel like Han Solo in The Empire Strikes Back. It's not my fault. So, and generally in the morning, I mean, I get everything set up. When I hit the go live button, I don't have time to double check. And so my apologies, but that is what it is. Fourth hour is a little bit different where I've got a little bit of time each morning to be able to troubleshoot.
Mostly cloudy skies today, but warmer. High temperature near 30. South winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. With those stronger winds, we may see some areas of blowing snow. We'll fall to 6 tonight. Cloudy skies, flurries, maybe a light snow shower. Steadier falling temperatures as we go through the day tomorrow. We'll have strong.
And in Sioux Falls at 6:30. Cloudy skies, 14 at Kello. Joe Bowman is in the Kello.com News Center. Coming up, more details on that standoff with law enforcement in Brandon a few days ago. Joe will have those for you coming up. Trending stories just ahead here on Kello.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The Trump administration starts mass layoff. Nearly all federal employees with less than a year on the job, still on probationary status without civil service protection, are being let go.
The government began firing hundreds of people at multiple agencies, continuing the Trump administration's efforts to streamline federal job positions and to cut costs. Termination emails have been sent out to federal workers, a move that comes after tens of thousands of them accepted buyout offers.
Fox is covering court. Vice President Vance meets with Ukraine's President Zelensky at a security conference in Munich, Germany today. Earlier, with NATO's Secretary General.
We want to make sure that NATO is actually built for the future. And we think a big part of that is ensuring that NATO does a little bit more burden sharing in Europe so that the United States can focus on some of our challenges in East Asia.
Defense Secretary Hesketh, meantime, says in Poland that it can't be assumed
a little portable heater down here because I'm freezing most mornings.
Kello News Time, 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. Authorities have confirmed that a body of a male suspect has been found at a home in Brandon, which was destroyed by fire following a standoff with law enforcement Wednesday afternoon. Attempting to serve a warrant, U.S. Marshals were shot at from inside the wanted man's house. Authorities sealed off the entire area, including asking nearby residents to evacuate their homes. For hours, negotiators tried to get the suspect to surrender, but he refused to come out. Minnehaha County SWAT deployed chemical agents into the home. A fire broke out in the structure, and the suspect never left. South Dakota DCI continues to investigate the incident, including the cause of the fire. Governor Larry Roden is moving fast on providing property tax relief. He was joined by legislators and staff members at a news conference yesterday morning. They're part of a working group that is introducing a plan to cap property tax increases on owner-occupied homes.
I believe this is the first governor's bill that has been introduced in the last 2 or 3 years, and I want to thank all of the legislators who participated in this great discussion. And I want to thank you all for your passion to relieve the tax burden on South Dakota homeowners.
The governor says the proposal will cap owner-occupied property tax assessment increases at 3% for the next 5 years. The bill will be introduced in the state Senate. A bill challenging the controversial 30-year state office lease, costing taxpayers $340 million, was defeated in Pierre yesterday. Some lawmakers want oversight on leases for 2 one-stop centers in Sioux Falls and Rapid City. State officials argue the centers will improve government services and potentially save millions. The bill failed on a 31-37 vote. And if you need to renew your license plate tags, you won't be able to for the next few days. The Motor Vehicle Division is installing their new system, 605 Drive, so vehicle registration renewals will not be available today through Sunday. The new system launches on Monday, the 17th. From the Kello.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Warmer today with a mostly cloudy sky. Well, the high temperature near 30. South winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. May see some areas of blowing snow. As we get into the overnight hours, flurries and light snow showers will be possible. We'll fall to 6. And for tomorrow, expect a decrease in temperatures as we go through the day. For the KELOLAND Storm Center, I'm meteorologist Scott Marks.
You're hearing the news and views you just can't hear anywhere else. Kello News Talk 1320, 107.9, and Kello.com.
The Elon Musk story about the limestone mine storing all the records of federal retirees is nuts.
Isn't that
But I bet
crazy?
you're asking the obvious. Why weren't these records digitized decades ago? I'm Kim Commando for SimpliSafe.
No kidding.
Save 50% on a new system right now at simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. While the Pennsylvania limestone mine was news to many, this story has been around for years. A financial firm that helps federal employees wrote about Iron Mountain 5 years ago. But why is nothing digitized? Well, they've tried. In the 80s, manually inputting all the
Not
stems
too
was
hard,
impossible
apparently.
without a staff of thousands. In the 90s, a government contractor spent 10 years building a computer system. By then, it was 2008, and the floppy disk system was obsolete. And so, Iron Mountain employees work each day 200 feet underground, filing by hand. It takes 3 months for a government worker to retire, even if they take Trump's buyout. Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. Nothing is more important than protecting who you love from harm. If you've been thinking about home security, now's the time to join the millions of Americans who trust SimpliSafe to protect their homes. Traditional home security systems wait until after a break-in to react. By then, it's already too late. But SimpliSafe is a smarter way. Their Active Guard outdoor protection uses advanced AI-powered security cameras paired with live monitoring agents to keep watch over your home 24/7. If someone suspicious approaches, the agents can see, speak to them directly, and even call the police, all in real time, helping to stop the crime before it even starts. Monitoring plans start at
All
around
right.
a day. There are no contracts and no fees if you need to cancel. Plus, with a 60-day
Again, sorry for the
guarantee,
slow
you
start
can be
this
sure
morning.
SimpliSafe is the perfect fit for you. Visit
I mean, I guess
simplysafekim.com
my
to
only
claim
other
50%
option
off
is
your
to
system
start
with
the,
a professional monitoring plan and your first month's free.
start the
That's
6 a.m. video
simplysafekim.com.
like
There's no safe
10
like
minutes before
SimpliSafe.
I actually
The
start.
Kim Commando Show, live
And I
Saturday mornings at
dislike
9.
doing that.
Kello News Talk 1320, 107.9.
Having to watch me scramble around. So
with 2 locations to make sure you have the proper traction this winter.
In the heart of our community, our dreams rise from blueprints. There's a name you trust, G.A. Johnson Construction, where craftsmanship meets commitment, and every project is a promise kept. G.A. Johnson Construction, where excellence is the blueprint.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Make it special by shopping the Diamond Room by Spectre. Choose from diamond studs, a necklace, a ring, or a watch for the man in your life. Their staff will help you find the perfect piece. The Diamond Room, there is no comparison.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices. Just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Every day, you've got places to go and things to do.
No matter where you're going or what you're doing, you can always listen to Kello on your phone.
Entertaining talk, news when it happens, good things to know when you're on the go.
Listen to Kello wherever you are with the free Kello AM app. Kello.
$6:38, cloudy skies, and 14. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. It's great to have you along. I got a wonderful email from Michael yesterday. He said, I wonder if I'm the only one that's noticed that Democrats cannot have a conversation about Trump without screaming or swearing. And that's just Congress and the Senate. Not classy people, Mike says. Hey, Mike. And then he says, thank you. No, my friend. Thank you. I always love hearing from you. Haven't had a chance to reply to Mike yet, but I read every email. Drop me an email anytime. It's always open to you. greg.belfrage@kelo.com.
What's trending now?
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin. The hashtag does that. News and views from Belf's News Gap.
All right, let's take a look at trending stories this morning. President Trump signing a memo laying the groundwork for new tariffs on foreign countries with which the United States has a negative trade balance. In other words, what Donald Trump is saying is these countries, if they, for instance, let's say they charge a 10% tariff on the United States, we will do the same thing, 10% tariff against them. If they're doing it against the United States, we'll do it against them. And Trump's memo says the idea that the United States has one of the most open economies and has among the lowest average weighted tariff rates in the world. The United States imposes fewer barriers to imports than other major world economies, including those with similar political and economic systems. And so he said, whatever countries charge the United States, we will charge them. We're going to make America rich again, Trump said. That's a big story this morning. Also, you have President Trump praising Elon Musk and his army of super geniuses at the Department of Government Efficiency. This story has been trending for several days. And Trump, now apparently a lieutenant at the Department of Government Efficiency and other employees arrived at the Internal Revenue Service yesterday to look at what's going on at the IRS. And Trump said, I think the IRS will be looked at like everybody else, he said. And he said he didn't expect to close the IRS, but he wanted DOJ to scrutinize the spending of the IRS. And Trump said they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing. And I think he's talking about DOJ here, not the IRS. He said, you know, that force is building. I call it a force of super geniuses. And as you know, I laugh every time I hear that. Can't help but think of Wile E. Coyote, super genius. All right. Also trending this morning, Hamas said yesterday it will release the next 3 Israeli hostages as planned this weekend. Remember, Donald Trump threatened if they don't do this, all hell's going to break loose. It's what President Trump said earlier this week. So if they didn't release these hostages, all hell would break loose. And then here's Hamas coming, I guess we will release the hostages as planned. I don't think that's much of a surprise. Also, the Department of Justice suing the state of New York over its sanctuary immigration policies. We talked about this yesterday, and the story is still trending. Attorney General Pam Bondi saying New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. You will be held accountable if you do not follow federal law. It's over, it ends, and we're coming after you. Also, top U.S. prosecutors. Now, the Justice Department has ordered to dismiss charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and that triggered a series of resignations yesterday. And then it started with Danielle Sassoon, who's a longtime federal prosecutor. She's a Republican. And she came out with this, she resigning 8 pages. 8 pages. Are you kidding me? 8 pages. That is not a resignation. That is a political statement. I mean, wow. 8 pages. And if I were to resign, my email would be short and sweet. It'd be a few sentences. I'm resigning. Maybe I'd include a reason. Maybe I wouldn't. 8 pages. That is like a manifesto. That's not a resignation, brother. All right, a federal judge yesterday extending the pause on the Trump administration's plan to put thousands of USAID workers on leave until next Friday. The judge says he's considering a lawsuit by government employee unions. So you've got these government employees really who have tried to push back against what Trump is doing. So apparently once you're hired, I guess, you're an employee for life. Who else enjoys that? Nobody who enjoys that kind of, it's just absolutely incredible. This is what draining the swamp looks like. It's kind of an ugly lawsuit-filled business is what it boils down to. All right. Also, President Trump had a phone conversation with the president of Ukraine shortly after he spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and Zelensky announced that he had a meaningful conversation with Trump. They talked about potential pathways then to achieving peace, strengthening cooperation between the two countries. They talked about Ukraine's technological advances, including drones, other industries. So this was, again, Donald Trump had spent quite a little time with Vladimir Putin. And then he spent about 45 minutes with Vladimir Zelensky. And some are saying, well, he spent way much, more time with Putin talking. And did you hear Marco Rubio talking about this yesterday in Clay and Buck? The reason being that he had to spend so much more time with Vladimir Putin. You got translators, man. You got translators. So that process is pretty slow. It's a lot more laborious. It takes longer versus Vladimir Zelensky, who's got a pretty good command of English. So a 45-minute conversation is a pretty significant conversation, but people love to complain. There's a lot of I think our national pastime is complaining. Also, Kash Patel's nomination to be the director of the FBI is now moved out of committee. I don't think that's much of a surprise. We had the Senate confirming Robert F. Kennedy Jr. yesterday as the next Health and Human Services Secretary. So that took place yesterday. And there's a lot of gnashing of teeth of those who are voting against him, including from Senator Mitch McConnell, who had voted against him. And I just think McConnell is old news, brother. He is yesterday. The world has moved him by. Also, Elon Musk saying that DOGE will delete entire federal agencies. This is the headline at fortune.com. Entire agencies are likely to be axed by Elon Musk as he continues his work at the Department of Government Efficiency. Musk said the action is necessary in order to prevent future administrations from reintroducing what he sees as unnecessary functions. And he was speaking at the 2025 World Government Summit in Dubai. Musk was asked about this. He said, I think we do need to delete entire agencies as opposed to leaving part of them behind If you leave part of them behind, it's kind of like leaving a weed. If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back. But if you remove the roots of the weed, it doesn't stop weeds from ever growing back, but it makes it harder. We really have to delete entire agencies, many of them, Elon Musk said. Also, Donald Trump has been talking about his plans for the Gaza Strip and what, the United States and what the United States would do. And now you're seeing, and again, Marco Rubio has talked about this, Donald Trump's plan. Hopefully, you're going to see these other countries now coming forward, those especially in the Middle East, Egypt, others. You'll see these other countries start advancing their own plans. Now that Donald Trump has got the ball rolling, and Egypt now has apparently released initial details of a proposal to rebuild the Gaza Strip within 3 to 5 years. Although there's no mention of a plan to work with the Trump administration or with Israel. So let's see what the plans are. At least it's a step in the right direction, is what Donald Trump is. I think it's one of the things, whether you love or hate Donald Trump, it's one of the things he's really good at. It's getting things moving. It's getting people out of, because left to their own devices, people move like molasses, man. They are just slow, and government just. Other stories, there are a number of sports stories that are trending this morning. In the Four Nations face-off opener yesterday, Team USA had a commanding 6-1 victory over Finland. And it was pretty wild. So Americans dominated throughout, including in the third period, scoring 4 unanswered goals, really sealing their victory. We look at the NHL. Also, free agent Alex Bregman has a new home. He's agreed to a 3-year, $120 million deal with the Boston Red Sox on Wednesday night. And that story is trending this morning. So the $40 million annual salary is more than $10 million per year than other teams were offering. And the deal includes 2 opt-outs and deferred money. Also, Philadelphia officials are expecting 1 million people in the city today for the parade honoring the Eagles after their Super Bowl win this year, and which is always fun. Also, former New York Giants and Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Kadarius Toney has been arrested and charged with aggravated assault due to strangulation of a woman. TMZ Sports reported the arrest, gave more details about what had happened. And this is a sad story. UNLV offensive lineman Ben Chrisman was found dead in an off-campus apartment this week, according to a statement from the school. It's only 21 years old. And Coach Dan Mullen said, forgive me, I think I'm going to sneeze here. Our team's heart is broken to hear of Ben's passing. Since the day Ben set foot on our campus a month ago, he made the Rebels a better program. Ben was an easy choice for our leadership committee as he had earned the immediate respect, admiration, and friendship of all his teammates. Our prayers go out to his family and all who knew him. Ben made the world a better place, and he will be missed. Also, there are reports, excuse me, that Kanye West is expected to divorce Bianca Censori in the coming days. And the reports have been out there saying that And so their press people then, according to Sky News, have been forced to shoot down reports that the couple are filing for divorce. Well, they separated. They are separated after this happened 11 days after Sensori appeared nude on the Grammy Awards. That was like crazy. I'm still seeing that story everywhere. And then you got any story involving the two of them, and there are those photos again. I'm like, really? I mean, really? I don't need to see this. Okay, a pregnant woman who went missing last year turned up in New York when she gave birth on a subway train this week. Jenny St. Pierre had been reported missing in August of last year after she had last been seen by her former boyfriend at Gulfstream Park. And police said at the time that she was pregnant, living with schizophrenia. And so she gave birth on a New York City subway and has now been located. This is kind of a neat story, I think. It's a beaver colony in the Czech Republic. And they did, the human community there, according to the Latin Times, a huge solid because they completed a dam project that had been held up by government bureaucracy. So government, moving at its usual frenetic pace, government there having trouble then solving the drainage and the dam problem, and this beaver colony took it upon themselves. They did the whole thing. Also, folks in Minnesota may be interested in this. Representative Ilhan Omar and Angie Craig are both being pushed to run for U.S. Senate. This is after Senator Tina Smith of Minnesota said yesterday she does not plan to seek re-election. So among the names that are out there, Ilhan Omar, Angie Craig, and Tim Walz also, according to some reports. Also trending this morning, Honda and Nissan have canceled their proposed $60 billion merger. That is now off. Also, the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier was involved in a collision this week with a merchant vessel near Egypt in the Mediterranean. And the collision, there are no reports of flooding on the aircraft carrier or of injuries. And the Navy saying the propulsion plants were unaffected and are in a safe and stable condition. And that's a look at the stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. Thanks for starting your day with the Greg Belfrage Show. 6:57, cloudy and 14 at Kello.
The place to go when you need to know.
Thanks again for being here. I apologize for the shortened, abbreviated version this morning. You want to hear the entire show, our podcasts are back up and running, and you can find all of those at kello.com. So you can pick that up generally after 10 o'clock this morning. All the podcasts will be up and available for you. We'll leave it there for this week. Hope you have a great weekend. Please come back on Monday.
Royal River Casino. See website for complete details. Royal River Casino.